Shabbat shalom to you all. Welcome to everyone here tonight. Welcome to everyone watching us on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. I hope you're feeling nice and cool. Perhaps have a drink by the side of you, just because it's so hot. Anyway, I hope you enjoy the service. And I'd like to invite Tina to come up, please, to light the candles. Thank you.
Yeah. Do you want to? Yes. Would you all stand, please? Lighting the candles.
I will make you a light to the nations, that my salvation may reach to the ends of the earth. As these candles remind us of past generations of our people who've sought to live up to that ideal, so may we in our day strive to be a source of light to those about us.
Thank you very much, Tina. Eternal God, your glory fills the universe. We are never beyond the touch of your hand, yet we are grateful for special times and places which help us in the company with others to reach out to you. Here, at this hour, let us feel your nearness. Grant that we may hear your voice speaking in our hearts, as in the stillness of Sabbath peace we turn to you. And we're going to read the following piece on page 80. The sun on the treetops no longer is seen. Come gather to welcome the Sabbath, our Queen. Behold her descending, the holy, the blessed, and with her the angels of peace and of rest. Draw near, and here abide. Draw near, O Sabbath bride. Peace also to you, you angels of peace. We've welcomed the Sabbath with song and with prayer, and home we'll return, our heart's gladness to share. The table is set there, the candles are glowing, the food is prepared, and the wine will be flowing. O day of blessing, day of rest, O day of peace forever blessed, bring peace to us all, O angels of peace. And we're on page 81, and we read alternately. Oh yes, would you all mind sitting down, please? Yes, sorry. Sing a new song to the Eternal One, who has done wonderful things.
You have made known your saving power, your righteousness to the nations.
You remember your love and faithfulness for Israel.
All the ends of the earth have seen your saving power.
Shout for joy to the Eternal One, all the earth.
Break forth, sing aloud, sing praise.
Sing praise with the harp.
With the harp and the sound of melody.
Let the trumpet blast and horn resound.
Before the sovereign God.
Let the sea roar and all that fills it.
The world and all who dwell in it.
Let the rivers clap hands.
Let the mountains join in joyful song.
Before the eternal God who comes to rule the earth.
To rule the world with justice and the peoples with righteousness. L'chodo dili krat kala, Panei Shabbat na Kabbalah, Shahado dili krat kala, Panei Shabbat na Kabbalah. Shama v'zachar v'dibur echad, Ishmi'anu el Hamyuhad, Adonai echad, U'shamo echad, L'Shemu tefillah v'tefillah. L'Chod dili krat kala, Panei
di likrat kala, Pernei Shabbat nekabala, Likrat Shabbat lechuvanecha, Ki himeko habracha, Meherosh mikedem suha, Sof ma'aseh b'mahashabbat te'ilah. Lahadodi likrat kala, Pernei Shabbat nekabala, Lahadodi likrat kala, Pernei Shabbat nekabala. Etorari, kiva ore kumi uri, sheda beri, covered Adonai alayit nigla. Lahadodi likrat kala, Pernei Shabbat nekabala, Lahadodi likrat kala, Pernei Shabbat nekabala. Bo'im v'shalom ateret ma'ala, Gam v'simcha u'v'tachala, To'emunei am sagula. Bo'im kala, bo'im kala. Lahadodi likrat kala, Pernei Shabbat nekabala, Lahadodi likrat kala, Pernei Shabbat nekabala. And now we turn to page 92, and we continue with the Baruch Hu. Would you all stand, please? Baruch Hu et Adonai Amavorah. Baruch Adonai Amavorah Leolam Va'ed. Praise the one to whom our praise is due. We praise the Eternal One, to whom our praise is due forever. And you can sit down again, please. Right. We praise you, Eternal One, our God, Sovereign of the universe, whose word brings on the evening, whose wisdom opens heaven's gates, and whose understanding changes times and seasons, and whose will sets the stars in their courses in the sky. You make day and night, rolling light away from darkness and darkness from light. You make day pass and bring on the night, and separate day from night. You rule the host of heaven.
We praise you, O God, whose words make the evening fall.
You going to join in this one?
Yeah.
Right. Ahavat olam, Ahavat olam, Beit Yisrael, Ahavta, Torah u'mitzvot, Ukim u'mishpatim, Otanu limadata, Al ken Adonai, Eloheinu, Bashoheinu, Uvakumenu, Nosia, Bahu, Keha, Vanisman, Badivrei, Toratacha, Uva mitzvotecha, Leolam ba'ed, Ki heim hayenu, Vayore yomeinu, Uvahem geyomam, Balayala, Vayom, Balayala, 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 Be'ahavatacha, Al tasor mimenu, al tasor mimenu, leolamim, leolamim, leolamim. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amod Yisrael. And if you would like to stand or sit, for that matter, for the Shema. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kavod, Shem Kavod, Malchuto Leolam Va'ed. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha v'chol levavecha uv'chol nafshecha uv'chol me'odecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'eleh asher anochi mesaveka hayom al levavecha v'chinamtam lavanecha v'dibartahom v'shiftecha b'beitecha v'velevtecha b'aderech v'shaltecha uv'kamecha v'shaltem al yadecha v'hayu l'totafot bein einecha Kutaftam amazazot beitecha v'visharecha. You can all sit down, I think, please. Laman tizkaru v'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'yitem kadoshim le'Elohechem. Ani Adonai Elohechem Asher hoseti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim le'yot lachem le'Elohim. Ani Adonai Elohechem. All this we hold to be true and sure. You alone, Eternal One, are our God, and we are Israel, your people. You have freed us from oppressors and delivered us from tyrants. You led us out of Egypt forever to serve you in freedom. When we witnessed your power, we praised your name and gave thanks. Willingly we accepted your rule. Then, full of joy, we sang together, Michamo habalim Adonai, Michamo hanedo b'kodesh, Noro tehilo osei vele, Adonai yimlo leolam va'ed. And it has been said, the Eternal One has delivered Jacob and redeemed us from the hand of one stronger than ourselves. We praise you, O God, Redeemer of Israel. And perhaps we'll read the following piece together. Grant, eternal God, that we may lie down in peace, and let us rise up to life renewed. Spread over us the shelter of your peace. Guide us with your wise counsel, and for your name's sake be our help. Shield us from sickness and war, from famine and distress, and keep us from wrongdoing. Shelter us in the shadow of your wings, for you are our guardian and deliverer, a gracious and merciful God. Guard our going out and our coming in, that now and always we may have life and peace. We praise you, O God. May your sheltering peace descend on us and all who dwell on earth.
We're on page 97. Can you please stand for the Amida? Adonai Sefatai Tifta
Ufia Gitahilatecha. Eternal God, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchok, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah, O'el HaGadol HaGibor v'Hanora El Elyon, Gomel Hasadim Tovim v'Konei Hakol, v'Zochet v'Steavot v'Imahot, Umevi Geula Livnei B'nehem, Leman Shemo v'Ahavah, Melech Hoser Mashiach Magain, Baruch Ato Adonai, Magen Avraham, Ezrat Sarah. Ato Gebo Le'olam Adonai, Mahayim Eitim Ata, Rav Lahoshia. Mashiv Harua, Marid Hageshem, Masriah Hashemesh, Marid Hatal. Makalkel
Hayim B'chesed Mahayim Meitim Barahamim Barahamim Rabim Someh Noflim Barafeh Olim Umatir Asurim Umkayem Emanato Yishanel Micha Hamoha Baal Gavorot Umidomelo Melech Meimit Umahayem Umasvia Yeshua.
V'nei monata hayot meitim, Baruch Ato Adonai, Mahaye Ametim. You are holy, awesome is your name, we have no God but you. We praise you, Eternal One, the Holy God. Please be seated. We thank you, O God, for this Sabbath day, which calls to us a closer communion with you. Though you are near to us at all times, you reveal your presence most clearly when we direct our thoughts towards you in worship and meditation. In you, O God, our humanity is exalted. You are our life. From you come its greatness, its power, its beauty. Establish in us, we humbly pray, a devotion to you that shall be firm in all the circumstances of life. May this service renew in our hearts a sense of your presence and bring us peace.
Yismahu
Malchutacha, Yismahu Malchutacha, Shomrei Shabbat, B'korei Onik, Amakashe Shavi, Amakashe Shavi, Kulam Yisbatu, V'yitavu Mituvecha, V'hashvi, V'hashvi, Ratzikapo, V'kidashto, Hemdat Yomim, Hemdat Yomim, Oto Karata, Zehelamasevareges. Our God and God of our ancestors, may our rest on this day be pleasing in your sight. Sanctify us by your commandments and make us loyal to your teaching. Satisfy us with your goodness. Gladden us with your salvation and purify our hearts to serve you in truth. In your gracious love, Eternal One, let the holiness of your Sabbath enter our hearts, and may all Israel who hallow your name be exalted by its peace. We praise you, O God, for the holiness of the Sabbath.
Right. We're going to sing to the Ratzeh now, and I hope you'll all join in. Ratzeh Adonai Eloheinu, B'Yamaha Yisrael, Utafilatam B'Yahavat Tekabel, Utahila Ratzon, Tamid Avadat Yisrael, Amaha Yisrael Ameha, Baruch Atah Adonai, She'otacha levadacha b'yira na'avod, na'avod, na'avod.
We give thanks that you, Eternal One, are our God, as you were the God of our ancestors. You are the rock of our life, the power that shields us in every age. We thank and praise you for our lives which are in your hand, for our souls which are in your keeping, for the signs of your presence we encounter every day, and for your wondrous gifts at all times, morning, noon and night. We praise you, O God, source of goodness, to whom our thanks are due.
Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amha Tasim Leolam Ki Atahu Melech Adom L'Hol HaShalom V'Tov Benecha Levaret et Amha Yisrael B'chol et uv'chol sha'a b'shlamecha Baruch atah Adonai Osei HaShalom.
Now we'll just take a minute or two for some silent prayer or meditation.
Yehu Ratzon Imrefi, Yehu Ratzon Imrefi, Vahegyon Labi Lafanecha, Adonai Suri Vagoali. Oh, may the words of my mouth, the meditation of my heart be acceptable to you, O God, my rock and my redeemer. O say shalom bimramav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu, be'al kol Yisrael, be'al kol b'nei Adam. Amen. And we welcome everybody who's watching online. I did try and get it on my mobile, but it didn't seem to work. And there we are. But anyway, welcome to all of you. And Norma's going to give the sermon.
I always like to seek a connection between the Torah portion for the week and our community KLS. This week's portion is Shalach Lecha, taken from Numbers chapter 13. Let me explain how Numbers 13 connects with KLS. But first, allow me a bit of reminiscing for a while. Allow me to take you back to June 1999. Danny was our rabbi, and 65 members enjoyed the second away weekend that KLS held. The venue was the Friars, Aylesford Priory in Kent. Planning for the weekend retreat took several months. Most of the meetings were held at the home of Judson and Michelle Scruton, who lived on the premises of the American School in Cobham, where Judson had a position. The retreat was hugely successful. I had to search the archives of the Kingston News to find some of the relevant information about the weekend. And for this, I'm indebted to my wife, Jill, who edited the then monthly published Kingston News for 10 years from 1998. The Torah portion for the retreat weekend was Shalach Lecha, the very same as this week's. Among other issues, it mentions about the 12 scouts sent to report back their findings regarding the land of Canaan, which was promised to the Jewish people by God. KLS members at the Priory in Kent had to act out the scouting mission. Some of us were dressed up in clothes similar, in some measure, to what the real scouts would have worn in biblical times. Of course, one has to use a little license here and there. If my memory serves me correctly, we had to come back from our scouting exploits with something positive about our trip, and I expect a box of dates was planted somewhere. This was to emphasise a land flowing with milk and honey. Overall, we had much fun, and perhaps a community weekend is something KLS may consider to do in the future. But looking at the Sedra in a more serious vein, it is interesting to note the reaction of the 12 scouts once they returned from their mission. Now, these scouts, the Torah explains, weren't just any old scouts, they were the actual leaders of the 12 tribes, therefore trusted and upright citizens, rather similar to our politicians of today. On returning from their scouting exploits, they reported to Moses and Aaron. 10 of the scouts were very negative with their findings. Although they admitted the land was flowing with milk and honey, they feared that the people there were too strong, the cities too well fortified, and the citizens too tall. It was only Joshua and Caleb who returned with positive vibes and said that the Israelites could achieve this. God, the text goes on to state, was furious with this negative report and decided to punish the Israelites as God's patience was running out with the people, and not for the first time. At this point, we have, in my view, the highlight of the portion, where Moses pleads with God to have mercy on the Israelites. Don't abandon them, Moses says, or else the exodus from Egypt will have no meaning for the future and would have all been in vain. God eventually decides to relent on some issues, but delays the Israelites by nearly 40 more years in the desert, by which time none of the people who came out of Egypt as slaves would be around to inherit the land of Canaan. A tremendous dialogue ensues between God and Moses, well worth reading the actual text to gain, in my view, the full impact to one of the great passages of the Torah. When one analyses the actual Sedra, it is largely about faith. God is cross because the Israelites time and again lacked faith in him. This lack of faith is probably a trait common in all of us. Sometimes it is far easier to accept the status quo. In fairness to the 10 scouts, they may have thought that their life in the desert was reasonably secure. They had manna to feed on. They were the tribe leaders. What do they want to go to war for? Many of us have had hard decisions in life to make, and it often takes a leap of faith to achieve something which is different. It could be a new job, a house move, or even a marriage proposal. All these and many more are gambles which require an act of faith to help things along. Since its formation, KLS has had to use many acts of faith to achieve its ambitions. I remember as a young man back in the mid-1970s when KLS wanted to buy their own home. The debate rode on about whether we should have our own rabbi or our own home. We couldn't afford both. Eventually it was decided to go for our home, as we needed to have premises which were actually ours, and then we could build from there. In the foyer, as one enters the synagogue, is an honours board, which is easily missed as one is dashing into the shul. I sometimes stop and read the names on the board. I have had the privilege of having known all the people named. When I think about it, many of those early pioneers whose names appear on the board must have possessed enormous acts of faith to secure this building, our home, and place us on the right track so that liberal Judaism can flourish in our part of Surrey. Shabbat shalom to you all.
Thank you.
Okay. And we continue the service with the Aleinu on page 520, please. Perhaps you'd like to stand, but if you feel too uncomfortable in this heat, don't worry about standing. Aleinu l'shabeach adam hakol, take gedul al Yosef Bereshit, asher somehow kenu liyadet shemo, v'gor aleinu l'hamlech malchuto, v'anachnu korim, u'mishachavim u'modim, lifnei melech malchei hamlochim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shehu noteh shamayim v'yoseh haaretz, u'moshav yikarov b'shamayim mila'al, Uchina tuzo, uchina tuzo, ugope maramim, hu Eloheinu Eino, Erev Malkeinu Efesuloto, Kalkotu, Betoroto, Viadato Hayom, Vachavota, Elovabecha, Ki Adonai, Hu Elohim, Mashamayim Mima'al, Vi'avores, Mitohat Einod. Trusting in you, eternal God, we hope soon to behold the glory of your might, when false gods were banished from our hearts, and idolatry cease forever. Help us to perfect the world by bringing it under your unchallenged rule, when all will invoke your name, relinquish evil, and turn to you alone. May all who dwell on earth come to know that to you every knee must bend and every tongue swear loyalty. Before you let them humble themselves, and to your glorious name let them give honour. Let all submit to your sovereign rule. May that time come soon and last forever. For ultimate sovereignty is yours, and to all eternity you reign in glory, as it is written, the Eternal One shall reign forever. V'nema b'hoya Adonai, v'melech al kol ha'aretz, v'yom ha'hu, yeh Adonai echad, U'shamo, echad. Page 522. The growing good of the world is partly dependent on unhistoric acts, and that things are not so ill with you and me as they might have been is half owing to the number who live faithfully a hidden life and rest in unvisited tombs. Even when they are gone, the departed are with us. They inspire us to live as, in their higher moments, they themselves sought to live. We remember them now. They remain in our hearts. They are a continual blessing. And tonight, on the occasion of the Yorksites, we remember Alan Ray, father of Paul Ray and grandfather of Ben and Natasha, Harry Goldie, father of Doreen King, and Marjorie Simons, mother of Jill Hyman, my lovely late mother-in-law. As we say together the Kaddish on page 524. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei rabah, v'yamod divra kirutei v'yamlit malutei, v'chayoni v'yimecho, v'chayei kol beit Yisrael, v'adal zman kariv v'yimru amen. Yehei shemei rabah v'barach yalom v'amei hayom. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitba'al v'yitramam v'yitnaseh, v'ta'adal v'ta'aleh v'ta'allah shemei t'kudshah b'rechu. Ye'elam mikol v'chata shirata, tushbahata nehemata, Yamiram Yamah v'yimru amen. Yehei shalom arava min shamayim, v'hayim aleinu v'yalkol Yisrael, v'yimru amen. Oseh shalom b'mramah, hu yaseh shalom, aleinu v'yalkol Yisrael, v'yalkol b'nei Adam, v'yimru amen. Please be seated. Just got one or two announcements. I suppose one of the most important things is the AGM this Sunday at 10:30, followed by a Havra lunch. And I think Charlie Beginski will be here talking about liberal Judaism. What else we've got to say? Next weekend is a busy weekend as well. There's a special Kiddush for Gabriel Weber, who's one of our ex-students here, and he, I think, is getting his rabbinical qualification any day now. And on the Sunday, that Sunday week, there's a synagogue walk. All the details are on Craig's weekly note.
And a concert.
Oh, the concert!
Oh, yes,
July the 9th concert.
Tickets on sale now, it's selling fast.
Yes, tickets on. Yes, I don't know if anyone heard that, but tickets are on sale now, selling fast. It'll be a terrific evening. Saturday, July the 9th. I think it's 7:30. Remember, 7:30 here. Should be a brilliant evening. So there. Now, before we go on to a down the line, I've just got to thank, first of all, Rebecca for doing our live streaming, Miriam outside on security, for looking after us, and everyone here on this very uncomfortable night for turning up for their support, and for my wife to help my awful singing.
No, it's very good, isn't it?
Anyway, down the bottom on page 525. You've got to do the French
And
one.
we'll do the French
Yeah.
Sephardi version. Adonai, Mashem, Mashem, Allah, B'terem kol Yesid, Yesid Yifra, Li'et Nasa, B'hefsa kol, Azai Melech, Shemo Nikra, Azai Melech, Shemo Nikra, Bi'acharei, Kilot, Kilot HaKol, Nava'ado, Yimyot, Yimyot Nara, Bahu Haya, Bahu Habel, Bahu Yeye, Batifara, Bahu Yeye, Batifara, Bahu Echad, Be'en Be'en Sheni, Naham Shiloh, Naham Bira, Bali Reshit, Bali Tachlit, V'lo Ha'oz, V'ha Misra, V'lo Ha'oz, V'ha Misra, V'hu Eli, V'hai Goli, V'tzu Hevli, B'e Tzara, V'hu Nisi, Umanosli, Manot Kosi, V'yom Ekra, Manot Kosi, V'yom Ekra, V'yado, Avkid Ruhi, B'e Tishon, V'yarira, V'imruhi, Gaviyati, Adonai li, V'lo ira, Adonai li, V'lo ira.
And just on page 563, Yivarechacha Adonai v'yishmarecha, Ya'eh Adonai panav elecha v'hunecha, Yisa Adonai panav elecha, Yisem lecha shalom. May God bless us and keep us. May God look kindly upon us and be gracious to us. May God reach out to us in tenderness and give us peace. Shabbat shalom to you all.
Shabbat shalom to everybody and to everybody online.